Hey everyone, welcome once again to another great episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast. You have your host Xavier. Next to me is going to be the one and only Danny.
How's it going?
You got Zach over in the corner.
What's up, guys?
And then over to my left, if you're on video, you're going to have the imitatable Anthony.
Immutable?
Yeah.
How's
mute
it
him.
does it?
How's it does it?
There you go.
Words are hard. No, welcome everybody. And also a quick shout out to Penthouse Media for the banger of an opener. Reminds me where we got a lot of old Super NES vibes in there, so I hope you guys like that too. Pretty wild and fun week, kind of chill, but a few big movie releases that are out limited, as well as general wide releases. Like I know obviously we got Morbius. I think Everything Everywhere at Once had a limited release just a couple days ago. But I know we all got to see a little bit of things here. Zach, what did you get to see this weekend?
So a couple of things. The first one would be Moonknight, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, we got a little section for that.
And then the only other thing was Morbius, which again we'll get into later.
Oh, we will. We have opinions.
Get into it now.
Yes.
We definitely have opinions. But Danny, what about you?
Well, I saw a couple movies this week other than Morbius with all of you guys actually. But I got to catch up on the Fantastic Beasts movies. I got
One
to
and
see
two.
1 and 2 again.
Okay.
Actually liked the second one a little bit more.
Yeah.
Than I
Was it
used-
easier to
It was
see?
easier to watch. Yeah.
like visually like to see?
Was
Because
it
I
just
remember
really
seeing
dim?
it. I remember seeing it in theater, and there were lots of scenes that were just really hard to actually see what was going on.
Where did
Yeah,
we watch that?
I
'Cause
saw it-
we saw it together. Like,
yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know if it
It
was
was
like
just
in a
really
big
dark.
old screen. Like, was it like a Dolby in there? Like,
No, we probably saw that at Kendall Village.
Okay. Well, probably. Yeah, I would imagine because I do remember a lot of dimly lit Johnny Depp saying a lot of things, and random people caught fire. I remember that whole scene.
Yeah, I don't remember anything from it the first time I saw it at the theater. So the second time actually helped.
Nice.
Nice.
Uh,
All right.
and then
I'll watch it.
I got to see a classic movie that I've never seen
Classic.
before. Rush Hour.
What?
Ooh.
Although I have seen the third one.
I feel old. Classic.
Classic.
I have
like
seen the
late
therd one,
90s.
but I saw Rush Hour.
So you've
1
seen
for the
1
first
and
time.
3.
So now he's seen 1 and 3, but let's get the record straight. He saw 3 first. That's borderline
Well-
outrageous, but I'm glad you rectified that by watching
I
part
am
1.
you.
3 is always on TV or
Because it's
Yes.
that bad.
Oh.
I mean, it's not bad, but it's just it feels stale. Like I feel like I know both actors went and did some other stuff later on, but man, yeah, I'm glad you saw 1.
I
just
like
to
the one
kind
a
of
Do
lot.
you like
how-
1 better than 3?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah. One was great.
for let the record state, he likes 1 better than 3, which is good because 1 is awesome. I mean, Zach's even seen 1, right?
Well, I saw the third one first,
What is
years
going
ago.
on?
But I
What
did
is
watch
this?
2 and 3.
Okay,
I did
so
watch 2 and 3 eventually on HBO Max.
Okay,
so
so-
you haven't seen 1?
No, I have.
Oh,
Seen
yeah,
all
he's
of them.
seen
I've all of
he's seen them all. So
Just out of
He just saw
order.
3
Yeah.
first.
3, 1, 2.
for once,
Yeah.
Danny was the odd man out
Exactly.
until now.
Yep.
Yeah, Zach, we won't say spoilers, but between 1 and 2, which one do you like better?
God, I mean, if I can try to remember, I feel like 2 stood out more.
Yes,
So
that's
I
the
think
right
2
answer.
would have to be my favorite.
Well, I'm excited to watch 2 now.
Yeah, we got to get Danny on 2.
I think it has a lot of great funny moments, like
Spoilers.
like Chris Tucker singing at the beginning of the
Mhm.
film.
Oh man, yeah, dude, part 2, like that. It's funny because he sings my favorite Michael Jackson song.
Part 2 was on rotation at my high school as one of the 2 movies that I watched like I think around 50 times in like the 4 years I was there.
I'm pretty sure it
was-
was on rotation, like on TBS and like TNT, like forever.
Yeah, I didn't need to watch it on TV.
Yeah, because
I could
people just have
watch
the
at
video.
school.
It's like, okay, here comes Rush Hour 2.
Anytime there was testings or substitute teachers, oh, there's a movie. It's either Remember the Titans or Rush Hour 2. So
I
I've
love
seen
that
both of those
movie.
movies tons of times.
Dude, Remember the Titans is also a class. That's like top tier sports movie.
Strong side.
Left side.
Strong side.
Left side. That's so. I love that movie. Rush Hour. Like you got to see again. That's one of those instances where Jackie Chan brings in his own flavor to what would normally be like an American or Hollywood style buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
So obviously you're familiar with 3, but seeing the original and how that all came in together, I think is really cool. And then you got to see some of the most like iconic lines, the whole like $50 million. Who do you think you got? Chelsea Clinton?
Yeah.
And
I like
Juntao.
that they did the whole blooper reel thing at the end of the credits.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like they used to do that all the time.
yeah.
Well,
and-
Jackie Chan does that in all his movies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like if you watch Rumble in the Bronx, Police Story, like he has like all the goofs and the oh snap, I just twisted my ankle or I bashed my shoulder and I'm going to the hospital, but I'll be okay in like a week. And just to show you that the fight sequences are very intricate, but they're also very character driven, if that makes any sense. Because depending on the character, they'll either use their own style with a little bit of the environment, a little bit of slapstick here and there, and then they'll ramp up the stakes. Like definitely Anthony mentioned a few episodes back, the Legend of Drunken Master has that in spades.
That's right. Yeah.
So good, so good.
Still got to see that one.
Yeah.
Movie night.
We got a action a school of old school action movies that we got to watch. You got that. You got Bloodsport. Dude, Bloodsport's one of my favorites. But yeah, Rush Hour. Did you watch it on any like platform in particular?
I saw it on HBO Max.
Cool.
They have all 3 on HBO Max right now.
Excellent. They also have randomly I saw The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I think that just
Ooh,
came up on this month.
It's a good one.
That's a fun one. I like that one a lot. Like I might have to just rewatch it again, but it's funny because talking about what we watched over the weekend, I finally caught up on Severance. That's on Apple TV Plus, and that's also directed by Ben Stiller, and it's
Oh, wow.
also has Adam Scott in it. So I finally remembered, like, oh snap, he has directed Adam Scott before, and now he's doing this in a more serious kind of sci-fi thriller environment. Which, by the way, if you haven't watched, I definitely highly recommend to watch it. That's one of those new like mystery thriller type shows where you kind of uncover more and more layers of what's going on, but it's really carried by strong acting from everywhere from John Turturro to Adam Scott, Christopher Walken. Patricia Arquette is insane in this show, and the rest of the supporting cast, they just do their parts so well that just there's always this level of just creepiness to it that you just know what's going on in this company underlying. It's really, really cool to watch. I definitely can't recommend it enough.
Sounds like a good cast, though.
Oh, it's pretty top tier. I don't know. I guess because of the clout, like they just decided, hey, let's bring in a whole bunch of good people. Like Adam Scott obviously is good, and so it's good to see him in a more dramatic turn. But then you roll up with people like John Turturro, Patricia Arquette, Christopher Walken, and then you have a couple more actors that aren't as known, and the girl who plays Helly R, and the guy who plays Dylan. He is funny enough, he's also the guy in Shang-Chi where he's like, oh, we're gonna rate this fight.
Oh,
I have a lot of fight experience doing random
The
like,
backflip guy.
yeah.
yeah.
He's just like
Do a
"Whoop."
backflip.
Yeah, and he's also in Spider-Man Homecoming. Go, hey Spider-Man,
Yeah.
do a flip. And he does a flip. He's like, yeah, like that's like the most like earnest thing I've seen. I love one of the things I love a lot from Homecoming was just the fact that he's like, yeah, I'll do a flip for you, buddy, and the guy just like wigs out because he listened to me. He did a flip.
We need more of that guy in the MCU.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like that's his name, Zach Cherry. He needs to just randomly show up in other MCU things just to like have like a recurring joke, like almost like Stanley levels, but just with doing other random stuff. And then the girl who plays Helly is Britt Lauer. Like she's really good, really, really, really good in this. So I saw that. I also caught up on
It's on Apple Plus.
Apple TV Plus. That's right. I also was watching. I had a couple episodes DVR'd, so I was watching Young Rock. That's on NBC. That's a lot of fun because I grew up watching a lot of wrestling, and a lot of his stories as a younger kid involved that because his family was all around that industry in different territories. So I would see one episode like, oh, that's that guy from, that's in WWE. That's, there's Andre the Giant. The guy who plays Macho Man is like almost spot on like Macho Man.
Cool.
They had a guy playing even like Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler and a couple other people from other promotions. really, really, really cool. And at the same time, like you have a sort of like it's set sort of in the like a couple years in the future. It's like a fictional presidential run for Dwayne Johnson, and so this whole time he's being interviewed. It's funny.
It's not fictional.
Yeah, it's maybe not fiction.
It's gonna happen.
But he's being interviewed by Randall Park as Randall Park. So it's so like it's this weird little like kind of meta referential kind of thing going on, but everybody they have as a cast is really great. Like they're awesome. So it's got good heart too, and it's legitimately funny. So that, and also with the guys I saw Morbius. So a little bit of here juggling more on the TV side, but I've got a couple things on my backlog that I'll watch or maybe just rewatch for comfort. I think I mentioned Bloodsport. That's always a fun watch. And I got to find for these young kids over here where I can get the Raid so we can get them acclimated on some hot, awesome action with fisticuffs and other knee cuffs and all the limbs,
And elbows.
knees and toes.
All right.
Apparently, it's on HBO Max.
What? The
Oh, no,
Raid?
well, the Raid Redemption.
That's
sorry.
That's
first
the
one.
first one.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
it's
then.
time.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
on HBO Max.
Yeah.
All right. I'm calling it right now. Next episode, we're getting these kids his reaction on the Raid. I'm not even kidding.
These kids.
These kids. I won't go to there. All right. Anthony, close it up. What do you
All
got?
right. Along with you guys, I caught up with Severance. I watched Morbius, Moonknight, and then I watched The Bubble the other day, which is a
Nice.
new Netflix movie. Came
out
out
April 1st, yeah.
April
April Fool's
Fools. Pretty on the nose because, it's a jokey movie or it's supposed to be funny, but which is weird because it's a Judd Apatow movie and it wasn't that funny.
Was it more dramatic, or is it just
No,
the jokes
it's
didn't
just
land?
not.
Just
It's just not very funny. It's very strange because it doesn't look like his other movies. It doesn't. It just doesn't feel like it. He has some of the same actors. His wife is in
Obviously,
it.
Leslie
His
Mann.
daughter's in it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it has a good cast. Keegan-Michael Key's in it. Pedro Pascal's in it. Karen Gillan. She's Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. If you don't know.
Ruby Roundhouse from
Mhm.
Jumanji,
Yep.
also featuring
Yep.
The Rock. That's the theme? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, the Rock
just-
is always a theme.
everything featuring
He's in
The Rock.
everything, dude. That's one thing I will say is that guy. Like, if I ever met him, I just want to know what he's being fueled by, and I like how he just keeps that drive, because it's apparently all about drive and all about power. Like, but seriously, like I was just commenting earlier.
I was waiting for
like,
that joke.
Thank you, thank you.
That's
I'll
great.
be here
That was
all
funnier than the Bubble.
night. Oh, damn, bone saw. I would really would want to know, just like, that guy just hustles, man. Like, he has so many projects either spinning, like he's probably like filming his little bits on Young Rock while like, okay, now I gotta go to this other studio and film Black Adam, and at the other time we're doing
Still?
this other thing. Like,
No,
I mean, it's
I
in
think
the,
Black Adam's done.
it's done
I've been
already.
doing it for
but
10 years.
but while he's doing these other appearances and these other shows and these other movies, it's nuts. Like, there's
And
I
having
think,
time to work out.
yeah, and having time.
No,
at
he does that
4:30.
at 4 in the morning. So.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. I don't like the earliest I'll wake up to work out is like at 7 a.m. I'm like, call me lazy, but I don't know, man. Like,
I won't.
I need the sleep. Like, the sleep is good for your recovery style. Like, you need it. But yeah, that's kind of disappointing to hear. I kind of thought it'd be funnier.
There were some funny moments, but nothing really laugh out loud like you usually get from his movies. 40-Year-Old Virgin for me is an instant classic, and that movie has tons of laugh out loud moments.
It really does.
Uh,
Do you like to do it yourself?
Even This Is 40, which is one of his not as funny movies, I still found it funnier than The Bubble. And supposedly they're making a This Is 50. So that'll be interesting.
And then Paul Rudd just looks the same.
Yeah. This Is 50, he still looks like he's 25.
Oh man, so it's funny because we're on a podcast, but I'll shamelessly plug Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul Rudd
Yes.
has a
I know what
running
you're gonna say.
joke. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. But Paul Rudd has a running joke where every time he appears on the Conan O'Brien show, or if he does an appearance on anything he does, he always finds a way to work in this one scene from this really awful like ET knockoff called Mac and Me. and it just look up Paul Rudd, Mac and Me, and you'll have like a 13-minute
Yeah.
supercut.
You'll probably see a compilation of all the times that he's done it on Conan O'Brien's show.
It's a testament to Paul Rudd's acting ability, where even on a podcast, he's saying, "Oh, we did this podcast short story, and it's a really cool kind of like thriller crime drama," and he's describing everything going in to setting up this bit. He's completely bought in, talking about these people's performances and vocal stuff and the story, how engaging it is and how thrilling it is and how many episodes going through, and it's a concise story, but it's so thrilling and engaging. And they hit play and it's just the audio file from that damn clip. And then Conan's like, "What are you doing?" Like completely
He
caught off
switched
guard.
mediums and he's still getting him with
Exactly. He's like, "This is a podcast. Who's gonna know that?" He's like, "Oh, they'll know." Like it's so good.
Don't know. It's the scene with the kid in the
The
wheelchair
the weird.
falling down a mountain.
And then Mac just going, "All right." Like I don't even know. Like why is he like? You guys gotta watch it. Just it's so dumb, but it's amazing. Oh man. But hopefully, like This Is 50 can, excuse me, try to capture a bit of that magic.
But The Bubble is what it sounds like. It's a movie about people trying to make a movie during the pandemic. And so a lot of the beginning of the movie is pandemic jokes for like the first 20 or 30 minutes, and then it's still there throughout the movie, but it's just like, all right, I get it. Yeah, wear masks. Okay, we gotta social distance, and we all have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So it's like we all just went through that, and it's like it's not even that funny. So it's like on paper it might have been semi-funny, but it just wasn't very funny. There were some moments I laughed a little bit at, but nowhere near as much as his older movies. So it was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I think it's like indicative of trying to figure out how people made movies, or at least to give an idea of how people make movies during this day and age of, there's still COVID going around. But I think some other mediums, have done what I would feel is kind of like the smart move. I think right now it's a little like too soon to really harp on it. And if you're trying to tell a story in, a setting, world, universe, whatever, that doesn't have a raging pandemic going on, I think does the initial thing of, hey, here's my medium for escapism. Like, that's cool. Like, why not? Obviously you can have other real world issues that'll go through, and that's what, film is as an art, to be able to do all that. But I think like with the trying to just be really, really, really jokey about it at a certain point, it's like, okay, I think we already made those jokes, so just putting it up again and again, I can see that it can be a little, too on the nose, or
Yep.
beating a dead horse by it. All right, we get it.
It's
Move
just
on.
very weird because the cast is stacked. David Duchovny's in it.
What?
Yeah. Peter Serafinowicz is in it. There's
That's
a lot
Danny's
of people.
boy.
Did I say Pedro Pascal?
You said
Okay,
Pedro
he's in
Pascal.
It
That's
is a
my
stacked
boy.
cast.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people. Like, so you see, I know them. Oh, it might be good.
Strong, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, a lot of it. Again,
Fred Armisen.
Oh man, see,
Mi scusi.
that's Deborah
movie's
bought
better.
5,000.
Eurotrip is better.
Euro Trip is better,
Mhm.
but he didn't direct that. But
No, but he's in it.
he's in it. It's still better. I mean, Scotty
still
still
doesn't
doesn't
know.
know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He doesn't know. It's crazy. But yeah, so I don't really recommend The Bubble. I mean, you can still watch it if you want, but I don't recommend it. It's not one of his best outings.
Fair enough. All right.
Interesting.
With that being said, because of new stuff going through, let's lead it into some quick news. If you guys haven't, read your trades or checked your social media blogs, that's what we're here for. And Danny's going to take that away.
All right, so I got 3 bits of news this week, although there was a lot of news in general.
Damn, there's a whole lot. Yeah, you're right.
First, we'll start it off with something not so exciting, but just to bring it up, we got Bruce Willis announcing he's retiring, along with maybe Jim Carrey. But Bruce Willis is more on a health issue, but
Yeah, it's
still
a shame.
sucks overall.
It's a shame.
I mean, I get it. And definitely, even to where people that aren't like us or any viewers or listeners that are into movies, really into it, that they know Bruce Willis. Like, they know him from his classics. They know him from, obviously your Die Hards, your Armageddons, your
Die Hard fans.
yeah, they're diehard fans. You know, your Fifth Elements. I mean, Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies of all time, and you know, obviously for health reasons, it makes total sense. Like,
Yeah.
normally what scares me is that he's retiring because it's onset of aphasia, which like means it's understanding of cognition of words and being able to speak and understand words is a little off. A lot of that happens from a stroke, believe it or not. So that's why that got me a little like a concern, like, oh no, like that's really in it. So him to, step away, I think that's good for him because
Makes sense.
yeah, for some people want to think, hey, protect the legacy. Like I know Zach's seen a couple of his movies, right? He's a young kid, but I know he's seen some of his stuff.
Not Die Hard.
You haven't seen Die Hard?
No.
Okay, I've only seen one Die Hard.
And
which
that was the one
fourth
with Justin Long.
Oh,
And it was
That one's not bad. Out of the newer ones, that's
Well,
probably the better one.
that's the Justin Long and
Live Free.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead one,
yeah.
right?
That one's
Live
fun.
Free or Die Hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Live
made
Free or
one
Die
after
Hard.
that wasn't very good.
No,
Yeah, that was the only one that I
because
actually
Hollywood still
watched.
wanted Jai Courtney to be a thing. I got nothing against Jai
Boomerang
Courtney.
Man.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, he's Captain Boomerang.
Oh
He's
yeah.
cool.
I don't know why I said Boomerang because we were just
Talking
talking
about Mega Man X.
Mega Man.
Talking about Boomer
Yeah, we were
Kuwanger.
just talking about Mega Man.
If they ever bring up a cartoon series or a cartoon movie, animated movie of Mega Man X, Jai Courtney, Boomer Kuwanger. I already made the casting. Talk to me, Capcom. You're not doing anything with that IP anyway. Come on. But so you've seen Live Free or Die Hard. That one's not bad. Wasn't
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant the bad guy?
Yeah.
All right.
It's been
1
over
week?
a decade
Maggie
since
Q?
I've seen that movie, so I can't even tell you who was in it aside from Bruce Willis himself. And then aside from Die Hard, the only other thing that I remember seeing him in was Friends. That's it.
Oh, that one random episode. Oh,
Yeah,
all
where he
the
was-
Friends
Was
fans
it
are like,
one?
wow.
Where he was dating Rachel for a little bit. That was it.
All the Friends watchers are like, ooh, Zach's my boy.
I love Friends. I love Friends.
Sure.
It's a good show.
I mean, Seinfeld's on Netflix now, so everybody should just be watching Seinfeld.
You know, I can't get into Seinfeld. I've tried watching it, but I can't get into it.
I
You
was
just
gonna
gotta
do a
start
Larry,
from the beginning.
I was gonna do a Larry David reference, but I was like, I don't think so. Which isn't indeed a Larry David reference. Whatever. I hate you guys. Yeah,
Okay.
no, legitimately,
Okay.
like, okay.
Okay.
you gotta do the stare, just the stupid lying, freaking music. But you gotta watch Curb. Like, if you think you want to watch funny stuff,
yeah.
you should watch Curb.
Well, if he doesn't like Seinfeld, he's probably not gonna like that.
No, I think he'll appreciate Curb. The thing is, the older episodes of Curb are like shot in the weird early 2000s CRT TV format. Like, oh, only like flat panel TV started came up, but still like the resolution's kind of low. But the humor's really good. It's great setup. Follow punchline, follow through, callback, punchline, and end with awkward situation for Larry David, and they roll the music, and it's awesome. Like, that's just the formula I just gave you for every episode, and even every season. Every season has like a recurring theme that has its own recurring jokes. But that's wild that the two things Bruce Willis for are obviously the Die Hard series and then Friends.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
yeah.
I didn't even know he was on Friends.
It was
There were
like
a lot
one or
of-
two episodes.
Yeah.
I think just one.
Yeah,
don't
they put a
remember,
lot of
but-
random people in Friends. I forgot.
Yeah, they have Billy Crystal and Robin Williams for like 30 seconds, a minute
Nice.
of a cold opening. And that was it.
Yeah. That's what happens when you were one of the top shows in the 90s. Like, you just kind of get away with anything.
Yeah.
Why not?
Practically, yeah. So, okay, yeah. That's I think it's better this way instead of him trying to just they have to work around that and have to bring that up as a thing. And as we saw from last year, there was just all these random movies that he was in that were just their own level of not great. So I'm glad to see that. Okay, you know what? Like, let's tone it back. Sit back and watch him. He was even in Expendables. We talked about it the other time.
Oh yeah,
before.
that too. That's another.
So see,
series
you're okay with Redemption. He saw Expendables.
But you're like, why is he in this movie?
Well, yeah.
You're like, who is this guy?
Why is this random bald guy? Did he do action? All these other guys are action. Like, I know Terry Crews.
The Old Spice guy?
Oh my God. Power. Dude, I love those commercials. By the way, like directed by Tim and Eric, from like the Tim and Eric stuff. Like, dude, this
All of them.
I believe all of them.
That
Like,
makes sense. I didn't
yeah,
know
they're
that.
because they're bonkers, and I love how stupid and ridiculous they are. But yeah, going back to it, the Expendables. That's good. You've seen that. Would you say, Danny, that you have any particular favorite of his?
Probably Die Hard, the first
The
one.
first one. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't like 2 or 3?
3's really good.
3's really good.
I haven't seen 3.
Exposed.
Yep.
No, that's fine. But
Pulp
I'm
Fiction.
yeah.
Pulp
What?
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. That's a good one that
True.
he's in. I've still go on record. Fifth Element is my favorite thing he's in. Just the
Yeah,
way
you always
like that movie like shouldn't work, especially with someone as high up as Bruce Willis, but he just rolls with it. And like my favorite scene, I don't know if that others who going through has not seen it, but is this part where somebody like tries to prank him. It's not really a prank, but they try to mug him at his front door, like, and he like they just trick him into it being like a camera sensor, and he opens the door, and it's this random guy with this stupid hat that's looks like the hallway, and he grabs the gun, and he's just like, "Give me the cash," and like that whole bit is amazing because I'm pretty sure they just like Luc Besson's like just let that shit rock, like just let it rock, and I'm pretty sure he breaks and like he just corpses out and starts laughing, and they just let it. It's still in there because just how ridiculous that whole scene is. I love it. Like that movie's great. It's great supporting cast. Just really goofy, like cult sci-fi. But obviously, like Die Hard with a Vengeance is like that. And it's like tied with Part 1 as like one of my favorites, just because again, like you have an awesome villain in Jeremy Irons. It's almost like a buddy cop movie with Sam Jackson. And it's just half the movie is just Sam Jackson yelling out McClane, like just like all of this crazy stuff going on, and he just keeps yelling. He's always yelling. He's in for the ride. Like he's sort of like the straight man to Bruce Willis's wild, flying by the seat of my pants, John McClane style of police cop action. So, and it's really cool, and I think the plot was really cool. I think it was kind of cooler. Like the main villain's plan, I think was a cooler thing than even Part 1. And Part 1 is just like, oh, we're gonna rob bonds on Christmas Eve at a Nakatomi Tower. But Part 3 is a little bit more complicated, but it's like a cool complicated. But it's not like as ridiculous as like an Ocean's movie. But they set it up, and you see like, oh, that's the master plan of it, and it's really cool. And Jeremy Irons really helps sell it. It's just so damn good. But Anthony, anything that you'd share?
I mean,
you remember?
You guys said a lot. I just like he had a really good career. It's sad that this is what happened, as it's happening to him, and now it makes more sense that he was probably doing all those straight to streaming / DVD movies, probably getting
Redbox movies.
a good amount of money for each of them. He probably got like $1 million to just, hey, I'll be in this movie for 10 minutes and you can put me on the cover. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks that I read some reports that there on some of these movies that he had people like in an earpiece helping him like to remember his lines because he couldn't remember them.
Yeah, that's
So
rough.
it's like, that's rough.
Yeah, and at that point, yeah, it's probably just
You
better
also-
off.
You also have Cop Out.
Oh
Man.
not one of his good ones, but
Well, there's a lot of
Moonlighting.
Moonlighting is really good.
Really
Yeah,
good.
that was like where he really picked up.
And
Up-
Glass.
Oh,
That's
And Unbreakable. Yeah.
Unbreakable.
Oh,
Glass.
that's right.
The Sixth Sense. How do we forget The Sixth Sense?
How did we forget The Sixth Sense? What's wrong with us?
One of the greats. Have you seen The Sixth Sense? No.
Look at this guy.
Do you know anything
Do you-
about it?
All I know
No,
is
just say
that
no.
it has Haley Joel Osment, and he
Uh-huh.
says
You mean
the
Sora
famous
from
line.
Kingdom Hearts? Sorry,
What does he do?
I got him.
He says that he sees dead people.
Okay, that's in the trailer, but that's all you know.
That's all I know.
Okay,
Oh,
we
that's
should
great.
watch
That's
that.
all I know.
It's good. That's like
That's
That's an
awesome.
M. Night Shyamalan movie, right?
That's
Yeah.
his
Yeah, I
like
don't wanna
first.
watch it.
No,
that's
his first like 4, maybe 5 movies
We're actually
actually
pretty
good.
From what I've
And
heard,
then
yeah. It kind of just
and then
The
they,
took a
Happening.
turn.
we
something happened called The Happening.
Dude, The Happening. Oh my god, The Happening.
Yeah,
Like I don't know.
with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh my goodness, dude, The Happening is just is a movie. That's all I'll say is The Happening is a movie. The Last Airbender is
Yeah.
definitely a dumpster fire of a movie.
Yes.
But his
Absolutely.
first bits
Sixth
of work,
Sense,
Sixth
Unbreakable, Signs, and The Village.
The
I like The
Village.
Village.
I do
Those
too.
four,
Yeah.
those four are good. And then once you get after that, then they start going downhill.
Did he do Lady
Well,
in the Water?
Split-
He did
Split
Lady in the
was
Water.
actually-
Lady in the Water is not bad.
They went downhill, and he was going downhill for years, and then
And
he
then
came
Split.
back, and then
That was really
Split
good.
Dude.
out of nowhere.
I like to joke that the bamboozle like Shyamalan twist of Split was that it was actually good. That's just like, oh my god, yeah. That
Remember I could do this.
yeah.
I
Then
can
at the
totally
very
see that.
end, because I had Anya Taylor-Joy in it, James McAvoy. Dude, James McAvoy's my
He killed
boy.
it in that movie.
I
Yeah.
love like the running joke. Everybody was like, "Oh, you talked to me?" No, that was Patricia. Mm-mm. No, definitely, yeah. Like it was, dude. I don't think if people see James McAvoy on the street and they're just like, "Oh, Professor X," or God, I hope they don't say, what's the name of that awful comic book movie he was in? with
Wanted?
Angelina Jolie? I
But
hate
they're not
Wanted
gonna.
so
People are
much.
not gonna go up to him and go, "Hey, wanted!" Like,
They better not. No one should
Oh,
ever
Curse
do
some
that.
bullets.
Yeah.
God, that's so dumb. But like, because the comic it's based off of is better than the movie by a country mile.
it's your favorite movie though.
No, it's not. Because he hits Chris. Because he hits
Morgan
Chris Pratt-
Freeman, Angelina Jolie.
Because he hits Chris Pratt with a keyboard and it
Mhm.
says "F you." Yeah. No. Really, like obviously he's great as Professor X, but I think Split really got him like the whole. Damn, McAvoy can bring it.
Yep.
Like he was too good at that. And yeah, like that. And he also was in Glass at the end, and that's funny because that's another movie with Sam Jackson in it, like him in Unbreakable
Mhm.
and
Pulp Fiction as well.
Pulp Fiction and Die Hard 3. So it's like you could have a Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson triptych.
Well, Samuel
three
L.
movies.
Jackson is in every other movie. So
Yeah, but that's but him with Bruce Willis.
yeah, him was Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now for you guys, what is your favorite Jim Carrey movie?
Can't do that because to put the record, like Jim Carrey's flirting with the idea of possibly retiring,
Yeah.
which I mean, I would say if he wants to take a break, sure. Like, then again, we'll see because this weekend we're gonna be watching Sonic 2,
Yeah,
and
Sonic's coming out. I'm
that's
pretty
going
sure
to
Might be a third
he's
one.
promoting
print
it.
money.
So,
So did they not sign him for multiple movies, or did he just flat out tell everybody without saying it that, hey, I might die in this movie, so I'm not going to be in it anymore. Therefore, I don't need to be in any movies.
Maybe he did like an Oscar Isaac thing with Moonknight, where like the contract is only for Moonknight, and so that when it blows up and becomes like the greatest, like awesome thing, or the great money maker, or just overall popular and good quality, Paramount will wheelbarrow a giant wad of cash, and he'll probably come back for stuff. But I mean, it looks like, maybe he's that good of an actor, but it looks like he's having fun. Like he really looks like he's genuinely having fun.
the first
as
one, he
Robotnik.
looked like he had a great time with.
Yeah, no, like it was so like on brand Jim Carrey. It was people forgot that he could do that, and you're like, oh snap, that's legit, that's great.
Yeah.
And in a movie that's little doesn't take itself as seriously as in Sonic, hey, it's pretty good. But favorite Jim Carrey movie, I'm gonna let Anthony take that one first.
Wow, first.
Get right.
Can I say two?
Host
Yeah,
privileges,
I
and
was probably
you know what? I'll
say
allow
two,
it.
too.
Okay.
Two.
Yeah. two.
Liar, Liar, and The Mask.
You took one of mine.
Took one of mine also.
Okay, so
It's difficult, but yeah.
I'm gonna say, and I'm just gonna take one of the other ones from you guys because it's host privileges. Dumb and Dumber, and I'll let someone else take the
Dumb and
other
Dumber
one,
2.
But Dumb and Dumber, no. It would be the first Ace Ventura.
Ooh.
Okay.
The first Ace Ventura, dude. That has some of my favorite lines ever. Like the fact that his landlord he just rolls up and he's just like completely dry, just Ventura, yes, Satan, like just completely like flat on. Like you can tell Ace Ventura like it's just crazy, but like crazy like a fox crazy, and just rolls with it, man. Like there's a lot of great zingers in that, like the slow mo bit, the bit inside the the party in the mansion, everything from the shark attack to the getting out of the bathroom, that do not go in there, and it's like, I think he has to go in there to sneak in. He's like, I think it's the bad pate. Like young Courtney Cox, like one of her first movies. Dan Marino as Dan Marino. And then Tone Loc was pretty cool. He had a song in there too, but I think like it just was like the right amount of goofiness, but just genuinely like funny moments too, like him solving Pedactor's murder. I can go on and on. Like, that movie's great. For some crazy reason you've never seen Ace Ventura, you gotta watch it. Dumb and Dumber, it took, as I got older, there were other little references of things that I just started realizing, oh, this is also hilarious. Like, it got better with age. Just like the silly stuff, like the most annoying sound in the world, to the fact that like these guys, like those mob guys, were supposed to kill them, but they like inadvertently killed them. Like, that didn't hit me till I was like much older. The whole bit with the bird, dude.
There's so many classic lines.
I laughed so hard at the bird. He's like, I just thought he was quiet. Like, holy, that's so funny.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'd say it's 1 in a million. Or like, just, and even Jeff Daniels, like, you would talk about Jim Carrey is great, but Jeff Daniels, a lot of people know Jeff Daniels from some of his more serious work these days, especially like Newsroom. But going back, like, he's really good at comedy as well. So those are my two. I can go harping on, but I'm gonna stop talking.
Zach, have you seen any of these movies? Because he was huge in the 90s, and then
he was huge when you were not born.
He was huge for like 20 years. But
like, I know I've seen The Mask a couple of times. I know I've seen Ace Ventura a couple of times.
Okay.
Liar Liar I've seen once or
Pencil
twice. Bruce Almighty
yeah, there we go.
I was gonna say Bruce
was gonna
Almighty.
be actually a movie that I was gonna
That was
say
the
was
next
one of my
one.
favorite
All right,
movies.
word.
But not Dumb and Dumber. I haven't seen Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
I think it's one of the few that I've seen Yes Man too. That's another one.
Yes
that came
Man's
out.
good.
Yes, man.
One of the more recent of those movies.
I love the fact that when they're in the opening. By the way, Terrence Stamp is awesome in that movie. That's Zod from the old Superman 2 movie with Christopher Reeve. But when they're in the seminar, and he's just like, no, and everybody, what's his name? That he goes to the seminar with. He's in Community, Birthday Cake. John Michael Higgins. So he just looks at him. Even like his friend jumps on him, just no man. He just gets shamed into like having to say yes to everything. That movie's awesome. Like, yes, I'll do skydiving. I'll learn Korean, and yeah, that's a good pick. I like that one. Bruce Almighty obviously is a good one too.
Classic.
Just man.
One
But
of mine will be The Grinch.
oh, nice.
Oh,
I
that's
forgot
good
about that.
pick.
Okay, The Grinch is another one. I had that. Yeah.
Good pick. Danny's like sniped.
Yeah, I had to steal one because you stole mine.
Which one, the Bruce Almighty one?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. So The Grinch has become a Christmas classic in its own right, 100%. And your other?
I was gonna say Bruce Almighty, and then I was gonna say The Mask.
I think
you're
we
missing
all were
Mr.
gonna say the
Popper's
mask.
Penguins.
We were all
You're
gonna say the
missing-
mask.
No, I'm kidding.
You're missing another one that's really
mean,
good.
There's
Mr.
a lot
Popper's
of movies.
Penguins.
Hmm?
Mr. Popper's Penguins. No, I'm kidding.
Mhm.
And then Yes
Not
Man.
that one.
What else?
How are you forgetting
Did you ever
Batman Forever?
Batman Forever?
Oh,
did you
the Riddler.
did you watch that movie? What was it? The Wonderful Burt Wonderstone? Is that what it was called? Incredible Burt Wonderstone?
Was he been Incredible Burt Wonderstone?
Yeah, he was like the best part of that movie.
No, wasn't it?
It was with him.
Oh, he's
and
Steve Carell, the Magicians.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw that. He and I saw that.
Yeah.
What about
He was in Kick-Ass 2.
Oh,
you guys are
that's
forgetting
right.
the more dramatic stuff he was in too.
Well, there was the Eternal.
That movie is
ha
great.
ha! There
That
you
movie's
go.
great.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
Spotless
Mind.
Mind.
That's a really good one. You also have The Truman Show.
Mhm.
Like that has heavy hitters now, like Laura Linney, Ed Harris. You have also Anthony's. I'm gonna say this and he's just gonna groan. 23.
The number 23.
The number 23. The number 23. The number 23. Wasn't he also in the hotel one with Samuel L. Jackson?
I don't think so.
No, he was not in that one. I thought, or maybe it was just Sam Jackson in it. But yeah, he had a couple dramatic stuff. Who was no? For some reason, because this is Robin Williams and Ed Norton, but I was thinking Death to Smoochie. Which randomly as an aside, Robin Williams had what he called like his villain triptych, which was we talked about it, I think once. It was 1 Hour Photo, Insomnia, and Death to Smoochie. So like it's weird. It's funny when you see Jim Carrey in a slightly more villainous role. Obviously Sonic and Batman Forever, but you guys are also forgetting. I'm gonna say a third one because how can you forget Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls?
That's what I thought he was gonna pick.
That's what I thought you were gonna pick too. Like, dude, that movie has a whole bunch of other. Like, I used to think it was too goofy because I liked part one so much because like I felt kind of smarter, but part two felt kind of like silly and dumb. But looking back, that's another one that like Dumb and Dumber. Like, oh wait, no, this was way funnier than what I remembered. Like, obviously, you have the goofy gags and the wild, like the way he parks his car all the time and the way he parked the truck, which is obviously too ridiculous. But
That's
then
the best though. Like when you go back to a movie that you liked, and it's like now it becomes like a classic for you.
yeah,
You
and it's
love
even
it.
funnier.
Yeah, it's funnier.
Who's you boo boo doo doo? Who's you boo? Who's you boo? And I'm like, I remember seeing like this is so stupid. And, oh, he's calling the freaking elephant and just wrecks this guy nasty. The going out of the rhino like
That's the best.
going out of the rhino is so dumb.
Mom, what is that?
The dude and oh my god, that yeah, like Ace When Nature Calls is great. Like again, it's goofy, but it has like the cliffhanger reference that if you never saw Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone, then you won't understand like what's this whole bit at the beginning with this, was it a squirrel or something like that? It's just like he was trying to save it and then it fell, it says no, and so but then you have then you had the whole thing of like, oh, he deflowered the one bride to be for the Wachati tribe, but I love also the where he goes to the was it what I forgot, like the peaceful tribe. I think it was the Wachudu, sorry, because the Wachati were the bad ones, or like the aggressive ones.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but I just
Where
remember
they're doing the balance test. Yeah, Chicago, where he's doing the balance test. He's pretty good. With my help, he could be the best. And he keeps like pranking him with like shish kebab, Chicago, and like even the chieftain loses. He's like, "You're out of here. Yep, nope, you lose. Get on out." And the chief's just like, "What the hell just like happened?" And like his other guys just like, "This man's insane." But yeah, that stupid bits like that were just great. Like, oh, the plates are made out of guano, and he's just spitting the food out. Yeah, like if you haven't, like rewatch When Nature Calls, or just rewatch both of them. I don't know, it's great. Back to our point, right? Hopefully he doesn't retire. If he does, if he takes a break, it's well earned. Let him do his thing. It's like when Natalie Portman, she had her child with her choreographer from Black Swan, so she took a break for a little while. Like, yeah, like let that be a thing, and that was cool because she gets to take a break with an Oscar. So,
but I don't think Jim Carrey's having a kid.
No, he's not. He just
He
can
just
have
likes
a
to
mental
paint.
kid.
He likes painting.
Yeah, which is cool. He can have a mental kid, just do his own thing.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
so we'll move on to a more lighter side.
Raise glasses to two great movie careers.
Well, one great movie
One
career.
for sure.
One for sure.
Hopefully
Second
not
one
yet
maybe.
for Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Raise the water bottle.
All right, now on a lighter note, we'll move on to some other bits of news.
Okay.
Any of you guys Game of Thrones fans?
Sure.
Oh yeah. I was
Alright,
part
we
of
got-
the cultural
majority
phenomenon.
of the show.
I was part of the cultural phenomenon that was Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So they announced that their prequel show has a release date of August 21st.
Hey,
That's
it's a
pretty
day
recent.
after my birthday. That's
That's
my
pretty
grandma's
close.
birthday.
Nice.
It's a day after my birthday. But
So that's for the House of Dragon, and they also released a bunch of like new photos and
look, I just want my boy Matt Smith to win. I need this guy to collect a W.
yeah, he needs one.
Because-
Wait, but he was in Morbius.
We'll get to that.
that.
But he was also in Genesis,
Gen
Terminator,
Wysis.
Gen Wysis. Oh man, like
But whatever, man. He was Doctor Who. After that he could be
yeah,
whoever
that's
he wants.
like. Does he
Yeah.
have the same agent as Toby Kebbell? Like, come on. Like, I know Toby Kebbell.
Yeah, but Toby Kebbell has never been Doctor Who, so
No, but he was Durotan. No, I'm kidding. He was in Warcraft. No, but he's also in Severance, and that's giving him work, thankfully, because he's giving him a medium and a platform to do something. He's good. Toby Kebbell's good. Matt Smith is good. Like Matt Smith was
Toby
there.
Kebbell's in Severance.
No, sorry. Servant.
Oh, okay.
Servant. Yeah. Matt Smith was in the first 2 seasons of The Crown, and that was already like, hey, he's too good in long form television. He's really like, he was great in The Crown, and I cannot stress anyone enough to watch The Crown as a result. You know, we're already 4 seasons in. We're supposed to be getting seasons 5 and 6. As a fun little aside, you know, Zach is the resident Harry Potter fan. So the woman, the actress playing the Queen Elizabeth during the 90s and 2000s is actually going to be played by Imelda Staunton. I don't know if you recognize that name. It's one.
That's a name.
One
It
Dolores
is quite
Umbridge.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's apparently she's a sweetheart in real life.
yeah, of course.
No, like legit.
No, there's no way. There's
Like,
no way.
But man, because
it can't be.
reading the book and then I don't know, I would love like a younger person's take, but reading Dolores Umbridge and seeing her on screen, like what was your take on that? We're gonna dovetail this to the side, but I need to know.
I can't really
You
say
didn't read the books.
because I've only read the first half of the first book.
Fair.
Ever.
All right, so movie version. Of
She
her.
was wonderfully awful.
good. Yeah, I think
I loved her acting. I loved her portrayal of the character.
Yeah, no, and that's good because
When you're hated that much, you did a good job.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's like when you play like the perfect heel, like you know, and all the wrestling stuff. Like, oh, it's so cool to be the bad guy because they just get to get away with all the real grimy stuff. But she's a sweetheart in real life. I hear, and she's on this show. I think it's on Apple TV Plus called Trying, where she's like the social worker for the couple that's trying to adopt a kid. She's hilarious in that. Like, she's great and actually really funny too. But going back to that original point, Matt Smith in House of the Dragon. The still shots look cool. I recommend everybody to check it out. I don't know what you guys' initial takes were if you saw him. Danny, you can kind of describe a bit of what you saw.
Looks exciting, especially with Matt Smith. But I don't know. I loved Game of Thrones until obviously the last couple episodes.
Everybody's
I think
like
everybody.
that last
Yeah.
season.
Um,
Maybe the last
Well, I liked episodes 1 and 2.
I liked
was the
1,
last
2,
season.
and 3.
Mm.
After 3, I was like, eh. Well, 'cause,
You were
like,
able to see.
you were able to
Episode
see 3.
I saw it on my iPad, so it was fine.
So you just
How
cranked
was
the
it fine?
brightness.
It was fine. I was able to see.
There's no way.
But I liked 3. But then afterwards, story-wise and everything, it was like, well, I think they kind of killed it too early.
Hey, I didn't know Rhys Ifans is in House of the Dragon. That's cool. That's the lizard for you kids watching No Way Home or the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Is Olivia Cook in it? I think I saw her in the promotion.
Yes, she is.
Nice.
Olivia
So-
Cook is great.
It'll be interesting to see how they go with that franchise and how they bring it
snap.
relevant again.
Olivia Cook is in some other good stuff too. Obviously, you know, Anthony and I last year saw Sound of Metal. Obviously, if you guys
Mhm.
saw Ready Player One.
Yep.
But Paddy Considine is in that too. He's a Viserys Targaryen for all the Game of Thrones lore fanatics. But he is in one of my favorite movies. He's like a Edgar Wright dude. So he's in Hot Fuzz
But why would he be in that show if that show takes place way
way
in the
back.
past? Yeah.
Because Viserys is another name taken before, not the young Viserys that gave a crown for a king, not him, but he was named after this guy.
Okay.
So
it's like
that's
his
why it's way
great
back in the day.
great grandfather.
Yeah, great grandfather. So yeah, he's one of the 2 Andys in Hot Fuzz. Dude, this is so stupid. I love how Rafe Spall's the other one. Like Rafe Spall's the other Andys. We could have a whole episode on Hot Fuzz and how great that movie is. But House of the Dragon, hopefully, you know, if it starts strong, like it's got to have a killer pilot.
Yeah.
It's gotta have a like Moonknight level pilot, which we'll get to in a bit.
It
but
needs a hook. It needs a
literal.
hook.
It needs a literal hook. You're absolutely right. Like what would be a hook for you, Zach?
I don't know. I've never watched Game of Thrones.
So if it's called
Damn.
House of the Dragon, what would you expect to hopefully see?
Dragons.
There you go.
Where?
Houses.
Where, though?
Hello. Houses.
Houses. Where?
In a house?
I mean, why not? I want to see a
It's
dragon
the
in a
first
house.
word of the title. How'd you not say houses?
Why would you not? Yeah. I want to see a dragon in a house. It'd be a big house. I mean, we got a bear in a big blue house, so why not have like a red dragon and a big red dragon
Dude, I
house?
love that
guys.
show. I love that show as a kid.
Bear in a big blue house. It's great. It's awesome.
All right, so now we'll go to the third and last bit of news. I don't know if any of you guys saw, but the first reviews for Secrets of Dumbledore came out.
Uh-oh. How are they?
Do you want to know the score on Rotten Tomatoes?
Hit me.
Sure.
Hit me, baby.
So
one more
with-
time.
This one I'm kind of scared
With
of.
about 44 reviews, we got a 62.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, better than
Better
the
than the second one.
30-ish.
That's not. I mean, is it rotten 50 or 60 or under 60?
60.
It is.
Yeah. 60.
It
60 is or 60 and above is fresh.
fresh. It
And then
is fresh.
certified fresh is 80.
But-
I
80 and
think.
above.
That's
Or
only
75 and above.
You said that was
80.
only 40 reviews.
Yeah, 42.
Hopefully, it will
Doesn't
be
seem like that
41.
many. So,
Well,
and how many of those reviews are people saying I hate J.K. Rowling?
That is a
Well,
thing to
this
take
is
into
the
effect.
critics, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
hopefully the critics
45
will be
reviews
unbiased.
at 62.
Okay.
Not too
And
bad.
when I checked this morning when the scores first came out,
Mhm.
it was a 60.
It's
So
it's gone up.
sitting right on 60.
Yeah, like
Now,
Live
when-
as of this taping.
That's slightly better than Morbius.
now as more reviews come out, I'm sure it'll
Slightly.
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 Well then. Yeah. So with that, are you letting that temper a bit of your expectations going into into seeing the third one?
I'm excited for the third one. I'm just hoping it is better than the second one.
Yeah. The 2nd
I've
one
s-
is a movie.
I've seen some of the
It's not that
reviews
bad.
But
going
he,
on
he
talking
said
about.
he rewatched it and liked the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. He saw it again and liked it.
Yeah.
He also didn't remember it when he first watched
Yeah.
it. So that's
I don't.
me
I didn't
too.
either. So I
didn't
gotta
see
rewatch
anything
it.
on the
Yeah,
first
me too. I
Hey,
gotta rewatch
Credence.
one. I'm just curious to see, because when I was looking at some of the reviews today, they were saying that they think this is the best out of the three.
Which
I
is
liked the
interesting because
first
the
one.
first one
Yeah.
was really the
I
first one was really
legit
good.
like the first one.
And that
Yeah.
this one kind of finds its place in where the Fantastic Beasts should go.
Okay. Yeah,
I thought
because
that was pretty interesting.
it seems like they're centering everything around the whole Dumbledore Grindelwald duel
Yeah.
feud.
Yeah, and it's gonna end like the movie, like the fifth movie when it comes out will end 1945, which is World War II. So it's gonna lead to
Yeah.
that moment.
Ooh, yeah, and we're on 3, so we're supposed to have 4 and 5.
I think this one might take place late 30s, mid to late 30s at least.
Yeah, at least mid 30s. It's kind of like Grindelwald's kind of crusade is supposed to mirror the rise of fascism. So
Yeah.
that's a fun
I'm
little
excited
history
for
lesson.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, I
He's
like.
great.
That's my boy Mads. Again, we tell everybody whenever you get the chance, watch Hannibal.
The TV show.
Yeah, not the well. The movie had Anthony Hopkins. It's not half bad. It's just Julianne Moore's Clarice instead of Jodie Foster. I was thinking Contact. I was gonna say it had Contact. I mean Jodie Foster. But yeah, Hannibal the TV show is very good. And so, I will reserve judgment because I saw the reviews is trickling in, and I want to just give it my fair shake. And because they're entertaining, like the way they've elevated or shown real world like magic offense is really cool. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I think it looks pretty dope. But
I mean, in the trailer, it looks like there's going to be a lot of like spell casting and
Mhm.
dueling.
Yeah.
Everybody's teleporting.
no one's
And then Kowalski
no
getting
one's
a
sa-
wand.
Yeah, Kowalski, my boy, rolling up, getting the wand. I'm pretty sure there's all this like incantation-less magic casting, which is supposed to be like top tier magic level of stuff that you can do within the Potterverse.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, by your 4th or 5th year, you start learning spells where you don't need to actually.
Like recite.
Utter.
Yeah. There's some
Yeah.
wild stuff because you
I forget,
see
I
like,
forget like the actual technical word for it, but yeah, like words or spells that you don't have to say.
yeah, there's no incantation to it or anything to be said in order to invoke the spell. But you see that a lot in, Fantastic Beasts where everybody's like a pro at this stuff. And and then what's cool I like about the trailer is you're seeing green flashes. So I'm like, oh, there be some murder spells going down. So it's not
Some people are
obviously
dying.
Avada Kedavra, but it's the Ray Fiennes yell.
Or the laugh.
You need to rewatch the trailer for Deathly Hallows Part 2, and you just hear. I think they reuse the same scream that Dumbledore does like 3 times in that trailer. It's like
He means Voldemort, but yeah.
I said Dumbledore.
Yeah, he said Dumbledore.
Well, because I can't say his name.
Also, there's a video.
Oh, he can't say his name. I can because I'm a boss. I'm gonna say Voldemort, and I won't say it.
He's not
He's not Beetlejuice.
There's a video where it shows him laughing in all these different languages.
Yes.
Yeah, the French one is funny. The Turkish one is also weird.
Yeah.
That's kind of great. I'm not gonna lie. So the release date, if you can refresh it for the viewers and listeners,
Should be next week on the 15th.
15th
Yeah, I
of
think it is,
April,
yeah.
Nice.
14th if you have Thursday showings.
Or this Friday
This
if you live in the
Friday.
UK.
In the UK.
I forget.
or-
I always
or-
Let's
get
go
the
over there.
first.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Just
Who's
book
our
a flight.
sponsor to just fly us over there and we get an early review, please? And thank you. Dang, but yeah, we'll see. That following week's episode, you'll have our take. We hope to, give it enjoyable, favorable words, but we'll see
Yeah,
from there.
I'm really hoping that it is a lot more or that it is better, more enjoyable than the last one. Like the last one, the second one, I don't remember too much about it. Like like you, Danny, you didn't remember much until you watched it again, and I feel like when I watch it the second time, I need to pay more attention. Maybe there are some things that
It'll help
will
watching
help
it
to make more sense.
again before you watch the third one.
Yeah, it was just okay. He's Johnny Depp doing Johnny Depp things and recruiting people. That's basically all it was. That was like Recruitment the movie, is what it felt like. It was just this whole setup. Then I remember hearing the press like, oh yeah, we're gonna have 5 of these. I'm like, oh, this could have been 3.
I think it was supposed to be
could have
3.
been 10. I mean, they could keep going if they want.
Yeah, but
5
then we
is
run
such a
into the
weird
Hobbit
number.
issue where the Hobbit should have been 2 movies when instead it ended up being 3, and really shouldn't have been. But hey, it's all good. Water.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailers look cool. Visually,
Yeah.
it looks really nice, and at least hopefully it's actual music from the movie. But the music from the trailer sounds pretty.
Their trailers are
pretty
always
cool.
always great with the music.
Pretty
I mean,
good.
don't forget you have that big spoiler moment at the end of the second one. But
Oh yeah, that whole bit that blew Zach's mind. By the way, he's just I love it. Like he'll rail.
Well, okay, no, it blew my mind in the way that it just the theories behind Credence being Aurelius Dumbledore, and like I have my reasons why it's not true, but I'm not gonna get into it. We'll wait until after the movie and see what actually happens.
Clearwater
and then-
Revival.
maybe it was a setup.
Well, no,
Maybe
it was
wasn't
more
true.
of. It was
Would you
more
say
of like,
Credence is a fortunate son? Yes,
I think so.
Got him.
I would say.
Hell yeah.
I hate
Yeah,
you.
I just the more so Zach and I have talked about this offline, and yeah, it's just like I remember even watching it. That was the big takeaway for me when finishing the second one. The whole theater goes, "What?" Like not even like a in a soap opera. Like, oh, this is ridiculous. It was
Gasps in Spanish.
Well, but here's the thing,
Yeah.
though. Like, just to kind of not go too into it. So there's a YouTube channel where they review a lot of like fandom stuff. They're called the Super Carlin Brothers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those guys.
yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar with them.
Very barely, but yes.
Ben and Jay, those are the 2 guys. So they did a video on the theory of Aurelius being a Dumbledore, and the theory is that his I think his father supposedly, I think, had an affair or something with Albus's sister or whatever. So he's was it the sister? I don't remember. It was
No, or
something.
was it like aunt or something like that? Which kind of makes like
yeah, it was
Yeah, there was
something
an
like
aunt.
that. But like technically, he's not Dumbledore by
by blood. But Dumbledore.
Oh no,
in
it's
sort of,
it's like
offshoot name. It's
it was Dumbledore's mother, who's not a Dumbledore. She's not the Dumbledore. His father would be the Dumbledore. Or whatever the theory was, but
she
that
had a
she's-
child with someone else.
with someone else.
beforehand.
So he's not technically a Dumbledore. So therefore, the Phoenix would not go to him.
but it would.
in that sense.
But it's like, oh, there's association with the mother, so it could still go. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But the
emotional tie.
the whatever the lore is that a phoenix will go to a Dumbledore in need. A Dumbledore. My assumption would be by blood, not by association.
By a name
by
or
extension.
association.
I mean, we all know it'll go to Albus after.
Well, the trailer showed you
Yeah,
it
it
went to
shows it in the
Albus,
trailer.
but the full idea
But
is
at
that
the end of the second movie, it went to Credence.
Yeah.
this maybe it's not
Who?
a real phoenix. The moral of the story.
Maybe you got confused.
Yeah, the moral of the story is there are a lot of hoops to jump to get into the whole Potter lore of it, but will it make for an entertaining movie and a cohesive and a logical movie?
Maybe.
Let's find out. Speaking of cohesion and logic, let's talk about Morbius.
Yes.
Boy, was that a movie.
Spoiler or non-spoiler?
You know what?
Non-spoiler.
Let's non-spoiler because actually, yeah, let's non-spoiler because we can.
Oh, but I really wanted to talk about the credit scenes.
So, we'll get to that in a moment. We'll give the spoiler warning in a moment. But general takes are as follows. I'll let Danny take this one first because I think he's the nicest out of all of us.
I don't think it's as bad as the Rotten Tomato score at a 16.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Well,
it
the
went down
audi-
from a 17
the audience
to a
score is
16.
audience score or
it's
the
like
critic
70 or something like that.
Audience score is at like a 60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Better
that
than
makes more sense.
15%.
I
I
think
would
it's
say
somewhere in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. somewhere in the middle.
So between 60 and 16.
So
It's a big-
30.
It's a big range.
That's a range.
I don't know.
That's a
I
reach.
think they tried to put too much into the movie.
Too much. They didn't put enough. It was an hour and a half.
No, I'm saying like they forced.
No,
too
it was like
much
an hour and
stuff
50
into-
something
hour
minutes.
45.
It was an hour
Close
and
enough.
48.
It wasn't 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, how much of a character arc are you going to have in 2 hours for a guy who's basically waffling between do I be a good guy or a bad guy?
True.
Because that's really like the main the main conflict that the character has is, all right, cool, I'm cured, but hey, I got this one draw back, the really bad end of the deal. It's like a monkey's paw kind of thing where, oh no, now I have to nourish myself off of human blood. But I to Danny's point, yeah, like it's not great, but it's not a dumpster fire of a movie, and maybe that's its biggest crime. Maybe it should have been a hot dumpster fire, but it's hard to say, man, because like the first two acts were pretty cohesive. They kind of bring up the point where you see the film's antagonist really come into play, and it makes sense. But then Act 3 happens, and the movie just kind of like ends.
Yeah.
It
was
just ends. Well, I feel like Sony lately with Venom 2 and this one, they're just kind of making it as quick as possible to try to get to the end credit scene to reveal some crazy thing that then doesn't
won't
mean
go
anything.
anywhere,
Yeah. I mean, you could do, or you do again, you need a coherent writers with this or a coherent plan, is you have those things baked into the movie throughout instead of just randomly dumping your post-credits scene into it. But we'll get that in a second.
I mean, Venom 2 kind of made sense.
Yeah, Venom 2's
It
made
did?
sense.
Yeah.
It did a better job.
And
at
it
that
was a great
than
surprise.
Morbius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's because I want to say Andy Serkis at least had some partnership with somebody going on. But man, like, again, there are callbacks and stuff to Venom, but I
To-
mean
to what?
to Venom, like
No.
to Venom A,
No, you gotta say it properly.
to Venom.
Like Eminem.
Oh,
says
Eminem,
it.
Venom. Nah. So, I mean, you have callbacks to all this, like, vague San Francisco stuff. No mention of Spider-Man throughout the entire film. That's a minor
And
spoiler.
you got the Daily Bugle
Well,
and
there was
no bit of the trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the trailer and throughout the movie, you're seeing Daily Bugle newspapers. You're seeing it's a couple communications from, hey, Daily Bugle's alive. The movie takes place in
Why?
New York City.
In the trailer, they also had a bit of the Daily Bugle and a little caption about Black Cat and Rhino, and apparently that wasn't in the movie either.
There were a lot of
Oh,
things
wow.
in the trailers that was not in the movie.
The Spider-Man poster.
The Toby Spider-Man
Toby-
poster.
yeah.
The director didn't even know
Oscorp.
about it.
Oscorp.
Oscorp was gone.
I don't remember
Yeah,
seeing
I think
Oscorp.
everything that had to do with
The other
any Spider-Man universe
They
that
just
was in
removed
the
it.
trailer that made everybody
Hyped.
interested to see what was going on in this movie is not in the movie. So
Exactly.
it's
The
not a
o-
spoiler. So
The
if you're
only
listening-
thing was the comics reference to the reference of Horizon Labs, which is in the comics. The only thing. But going into like kind of reeling it back into just it as a film, everybody. So I was gonna say everybody can talk about it, but you get to a point where the like most of the actors did their parts well. So like, all right, cool. You know, obviously Jared Leto's he's a good actor. Like I'll go on record and say if you can rein him in, Jared Leto's a good actor. So he did his
I think
stuff
so.
pretty well.
Debatable, but
I will respect the fact that it's debatable. Like I think I've seen him in some other stuff that he's good at. Like
he's kind of decent.
like you can't discount Dallas Buyers Club. Like that was like he won an Oscar for a reason for that. That was really good. There are people who don't like Blade Runner 2049 and those people are dumb, but I liked him in that.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'll go on record. 2049 was great. It's a great film. There's great callbacks to Cowboy Bebop, like dude, among other great things. But he did a good job. Matt Smith was like, you know, I don't want to say things for spoilers, but Matt Smith does things. Like he's not just there as like, oh, randomly Matt Smith's here. But then there are people who are just very miscast or like, hey, I really wish they would have done more with him. Like my boy Jared Harris, criminally underutilized. As like he could have been the perfect, you know, center point between the two sides that Michael Morbius is in. And the trailer made it seem like that, but
Nope,
they cut
took that away.
They cut
took that away.
that, and they gave him really awful ADR in certain points. Anthony,
The movie was full of that.
whew, let's talk about that. Like, because from a technical standpoint,
So for me, the movie is just it's just like frustrating. It's bland. That's what it is to me. It's bland. It seems like they wanted to make this movie in like 2001, where back then only like the
With
first X-Men
Tobey.
movie came out. I think Spider-Man came out 2002 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like when you watch the movie, you feel like it's like they learned nothing from the past 20 or so years of all these superhero movies that have been made. So just yeah, they made a superhero / anti-hero movie. They made it. It's adequate. I mean, I can't make a movie like that. So, but the writing is pretty bad and all that stuff just to get people in the seats of, hey, let's connect this with Spider-Man, and they just like
or
bamboozled.
Spider-Man.
They bamboozled everybody. It's kind of messed up. But even if you take that out, the movie itself is just like, okay, cool.
I guess that's why the movie came out April 1st, because it was a joke.
Yeah, that somebody did that on purpose because that's, I don't know, man. Yeah, like you said earlier, Tyrese and Al Madrigal as these two FBI agents. They're not cops. They're the FBI
Yeah.
for some reason.
He didn't even say bring it. That's not a spoiler. The man didn't
He
say
should have
bring
said
it.
bring it. It would have made it better.
There's one scene where he just magically shows up on the roof.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
And
Yeah.
we're
Tyrese's
like,
character
Dude,
is
what?
he's
superhuman.
he's
Like, he
super
just somehow
fast. Apparently.
teleported.
Hi,
Yeah.
we need backup. We need to go to the roof.
They're shooting at
Boom.
him, and they're like, "Why are you shooting? We could just go up the stairs." But it's like
But he-
50
like-
flights of stairs.
It was. We all looked at each other when that came on the screen, when he showed up on screen at the roof, and we're like, "What?"
No, the whole like I think it was us in a whole row, and Anthony in front of us, like looking up, going, "How did he get up there?" So
Cotton Eye Joe, man.
he really was Cotton Eye Joe. Where did he come from? And then where did he go? Like,
I don't know, but slight spoiler: he's in front of Morbius, and Morbius is like, "All right, I guess I won't do anything else."
yeah. Well,
Like,
remember that was
I don't have OP powers.
no,
but-
because his blood thing was that's the way they justify his powers, or the fact that like when he consumes either artificial or real blood, he is like, you know, heightened up superhuman. And to some of the I guess, strengths of the film. I like the way that he jumped and moved. Like they gave that kind of flowing motion to it. That was pretty dope. I'm not
It
gonna
was
lie.
cool.
Like-
The effect was cool, but then they also have the same effect for everything else that he does. So that was a little confusing. Like,
Even,
it looks
the bat
cool when
radar,
he's
yeah, it's kind of
Turning
weird.
into bats and kind of like doing like the speed dash, like it's Castlevania or something like that.
Yeah,
But
I was like, is
it
he
looks cool.
Alucard?
Yeah,
Like,
it looks cool. But then it's like, okay, now he's gonna use the echolocation. Now everything has that
Yeah.
cloudy, cool effect, and it's just like, so when does this? When is whatever?
right?
It's
Yeah.
No
Random
questions.
side note. Shout out to Castlevania on Netflix. That show's amazing.
Just in general, the games
Or just
and
Castlevania
anime,
the
yeah.
series. They're so good. But yeah, like some of those effects are really cool. Just
And
the-
others weren't. It's
and others
very
really weren't.
strange. Very strange.
again, we talk about ADR. So ADR is something they do for people who don't know about this. Is that, let's say,
Oh, I didn't get to that. Sorry.
yeah, like this when you need to redub over an actor's line because of maybe something in the background, or it's a shot that maybe there's a lot of outside noise, so you're able to kind of do that a bit, and you can't put a boom mic anywhere. And some of the ADR was hot garbage, like stuff. There was something that Jared Harris did, like his character, like he's breathing, but he's saying words. So like it looks like either someone is controlling him via ventriloquism, or the ADR is a hot mess. I think there was another bit that was really bad.
There's the bit on the subway where they keep going back and forth for like an hour.
Oh yeah, Morbius is
between
running.
Morbius and Matt Smith
He's running away. He's like, I won't fight you, and like you see,
off screen.
yeah, like Jared Leto like turning away and not you moving his mouth, and it's just you're just like, what? Like it's enough for you to just see it and completely get thrown off. Like how Zach saw Belfast. And oh look, there's the reflection of the camera rig. It's that glaring.
That didn't throw me off, but
I mean, I guess, but it's
But
noticeable.
once you see it, then
Yeah, you're like,
you
oh,
can't-
it's-
you can't unsee it.
Yeah, you
really
can't
unsee
unsee it.
yeah.
Once you hear that, you can't unhear it. I mean, was it Adria Arjona? She did a good job. I like her in Good Omens, so I was like, oh, cool, she's in this, and she kind of just randomly turned into a love interest when it could have been, again, another way to describe, to kind of bring up, maybe to have this other example of going on one side or the other out here. Again, if you're on the live stream or you're on the video, you got Tyrese doing singing because he used to be a singer before he became an actor, before he went into space. Let's just say that.
Then after he went to space, then he became an FBI agent.
Right.
Who had a disability with an arm. And thank
Which
you,
they
Doc.
didn't show like anything about that. I think they just briefly mentioned it.
You
but
saved
in the
my life,
trailer,
Doc. That's
you
it.
See
Throwaway
his
line.
arm.
Like, make that a thing. Like, he has stuff on his arm. Like, again.
I heard that he's supposed to be another like known character from comics, and they just I guess did away
They
with
said
that
no.
completely.
Thank God. Because
But it's just like those characters were useless. I think there happened.
even Al Madrigal, like
there was-
the other dude, he's just like, yeah, I brought holy water. And, like, there's
he
a
was
part, they're
trying to be
in-
Plus
funny,
3
but he was like
times.
too fun. He was trying to be too funny, where everybody else was being serious. Like it was so strange.
Do you remember the part, Zach, where they're interrogating him and then he's having like the vampire compulsions, and like he had the holy water because he's supposed to be scared,
Triple
but-
blessed. Triple blessed.
Mhm.
but like yeah, he gets triple, and he's having no reaction when he already like, oh, I had this holy water. Like, how is he not like? He had like all the composure out there, like after he just saying, "Oh, I'm just taking on my bases." Like
I feel
that's
like-
some
I mean,
BS.
maybe because he felt like, okay, he's handcuffed, he's not going to do much, but I
Or
don't know.
maybe because the scene was too cut into 3 different
I
takes
feel
and
like
mashed
either,
together like the whole third act of the movie.
I feel like towards the third act, either a lot of scenes were cut too much,
Mm-hmm.
or
They
they
did cut
weren't
a lot.
actually acting like either the same lines or like in front of each other almost.
Yeah.
I'm sure the movie would have been another 20, 30 minutes with all the stuff they cut out
I'd say maybe
or
20.
edited or
On generous side 20, maybe 15, but
Yeah.
I guess
and,
this-
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have made it better. It's just
No.
like, it
No,
already
it's a
was
mess.
a mess. So.
yeah, like it's either they wrote themselves into a corner or the studio maybe meddled in a bit too much and just
Mhm.
messed it up,
Too
which
many
we all know.
cooks.
Or then didn't know what they wanted to do.
Too
with
many
the
cooks.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, just to connect it, yes or not. Which brings us to our spoiler warning.
Spoilers.
Post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
Scenes or just scene?
No, it's 2.
Yeah, they're like back
Let's
to back.
just combine them.
Yeah, they should have been combined.
It's
Yeah.
just one big
And
scene.
and neither of them are post credits. There's one like right at
They're
the end
2
of the movie.
mid-credits.
Yeah, they're both.
They're both
Like
because
the
it was
beginning,
the
yeah.
movie, some credits,
It's like-
the scene, more credits, scene.
Entry
And then
credit,
the real credits.
Yeah.
and
So
then a mid credit.
exactly.
And random credits too, with the whole like I don't even know how to describe it.
Like
Like
those
the whole the
weird-
big M and
the
Yeah.
M that looked like
Means money.
something out of an A24 movie. Like it just
yeah.
was very
yeah.
70s block lettering.
The one thing about the credit scene though is I did like Vulture's suit.
Because
That was the
Great
only
suit.
good
It's
thing.
the
like
homecoming
best part.
The
suit.
homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
It
homecoming
looked a
like
little
Or like
different.
kind
It
of
It's
looked a little different.
upgraded.
it's almost like the homecoming like high altitude suit because the one where he kind of holds himself in place. But yeah, Vulture shows up, and by Vulture we mean Adrian
Yeah,
Toomes.
Michael Keaton
So we don't
shows
know.
up out of nowhere. In
They
a
just show the
jail
crack in the
cell
sky
Mhm.
because of
from
the
No
whole
Way Home.
No Way Home. But it's like the weird.
The
yeah.
purple crack, right?
Yeah, it was a purple crack.
And it just doesn't make any sense.
And then Adrian Toomes he's in jail, and then he just phases into a white light, and then he materializes in the New York jail cell in Michael Morbius's universe. So
Doesn't seem
And what does he
surprised
say?
at all.
And what
At
does
all
he
that
say?
he's there.
And he's just like, oh, I hope this place has better food. I was like,
No,
are you
this
not
joint,
reacting?
This joint.
Sorry, this joint. The man does not react
Specifically.
to the fact that he just in a
where
completely
am
different
I?
place. Oh no, where are my wife and kids?
For
who
real.
obviously are living in Washington State, if I remember from Homecoming. But so that happens, and then the news. This is whole thing of like this man claiming to be an Adrian Toomes just randomly showed up in jail, like
we're
in
gonna
prison
release
suit.
him.
We have to release him because we have no record of his existence for some dumb reason. And then end credit scene. Sorry, and then end that scene.
I mean, they could have just cut out that credit scene and just have the last one,
No.
or
Yeah,
I don't know, but
they could have.
that
Oh, no,
would
it
make
It
more
would have
sense,
been the
like-
same amount of confusion. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it would have made
How did he
slightly
get
more
there?
There's
sense.
no point.
Well, I mean,
of-
but their explanation of how he got there makes no sense. So
no, exactly.
it's the same
no,
thing.
No.
Yeah, because if they got that first part, then it's like, okay, how did he get there in the first place? But then still, yeah, with the first scene.
Get to the second one. Come on, Zach. Tell him about the second one.
I don't
Tell
remember
about
what
the
he.
second one.
I don't remember what he said.
It
though,
turns
because-
into Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercial. Only it's Jared Leto
Driving
in,
a Porsche.
in a Porsche,
when
driving.
he could fly.
Right.
Yeah, the man
was
can
a
like
Porsche
glide
ad.
around and fly, but why fly when you can drive a Porsche? I guess a 911. So yeah, describe it. He's driving God knows where, right?
I think he was. I don't know if it was outside of Vegas or something. It was in the desert. He's driving. To this like desert hillside or whatever it was, and then you see Vulture coming, and then he kind of just stops and he mentioned something about Spider-Man.
I don't know why I'm here, but I think it has to do with Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Something
and
like that.
he's saying Spider-Man to Morbius like
As if-
Morbius is supposed to know who Spider-Man is
Right.
because in this universe technically we don't know who Spider-Man is if there even
Mm-hmm.
is. I'm sure there is a Spider-Man, but we don't know
They haven't shown it.
who that Spider-Man is.
And then
So-
he's like, "Ooh, interesting."
He's like, I'm interested.
He's like, hey,
Climb the-
you and I should keep in touch, and we could do a lot of good in this city, or something like that.
He says the word good. I'm like, wait, are you supposed to be
We
a
could do
villain or
some
what?
good. Like,
Yeah.
we should team up. We could do some good.
Good what? Oh, and then let's not get to the fact
But that was it. It was like 3 lines. You and I should team up. We could do some good. It's like,
why would Morbius should be like,
Interesting.
why? Yeah, he's like, I'm interested. It's like, why is he interested? I don't understand it. Like,
Yeah, it was.
like cool.
'Cause
Michael
so
Keaton,
if
give him
they're-
work. But
if they're planning on doing a Sinister Six, so then it makes like the whole movie useless, because then you're saying Morbius is a bad guy.
yeah,
And also Toomes, like Toomes isn't really a crazy villain. He just was doing stuff, for his family. He did kill that one dude, but then he was
I
like,
think he did it by
okay.
accident.
He did.
Yeah, he was
And
like,
then he
oh,
made
okay.
a joke about it.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like, okay.
Yeah,
mean,
he killed the
You're the
he
new
killed
Shocker now. Yeah. Thing is, like Adrian Toomes did it because it's sort of like an FU to Tony Stark and FU to Damage Control, to tell like, hey, like my livelihood, you're gonna ruin my livelihood, and so we're gonna go and pilfer and steal some stuff. And that makes me think, because if he comes in with almost the same exact suit,
How does he have the armor?
Is
That
there
was
another
made out
tier?
of?
Where did it come
It was
from?
made out of
Again?
Chitauri tech. from that universe.
Or no, it's another tinkerer. He's just like, hey, I remember all the blueprints from the back of my mind 100%. So, hey, Mr. Tinkerer, sometime to replay and make my other freaking Vulture flight suit. Which, let's get into another example of awful ADR.
Yeah. They purposely had the Vulture's mask on, so you don't even see Michael Keaton. So Michael Keaton probably came in for 2 hours to record those 3 lines.
And the lines sounded really off, like
really bad.
There was like a bad echo effect. Like
he sounded older. It was weird.
It was not mixed well with the turbines of his suit, and like at this point, I'm like, did Mike and Morbius looks like he's all good. Like, hey, I had my blood for today. Like, there are too many questions.
I feel like Morbius even had a different, like, the scene where he was at was probably a different conversation. And then I feel like they threw in.
I'm sure they did reshoots, even though this movie got delayed almost by 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah,
and it's like you spent your
Not as much as
time
Top Gun,
doing that. It's like this is crazy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how. I just don't know how the movie came out the way it did when it had
so much
that
time.
many delays and you had that much time to fix anything.
And it's just, again, there are a lot of just decisions made in Act 3 that's just like, I don't know. I guess we just end the movie here. Like that's just that, and the post-credit scenes are just an egregious error.
Did we even talk about the spell from Doctor Strange and how that shouldn't have worked the way that it worked?
Yeah,
because we mentioned him coming, we didn't mention like the rule.
Well, the rule is that Toomes doesn't know Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Yeah, but he says, "I think I'm here because of Spider-Man."
Because of this guy.
Okay, well,
Spider-Man.
because of the spell, then he forgets.
But the spell,
that's
returned everybody else to their respective timelines. So why would it take him from that timeline and throw him into another one?
Because the rule of the spell is it brought people that knew Spider-Man into the MCU universe, but then it's.
Then it kicks him out too.
Now we're taking this one person and taking him to the Sony universe.
So how does that even work?
It's just, Marvel was like, hey, we'll use Spider-Man. We're not going to use the Vulture anymore, so you Sony people can have him, I guess. Like, that doesn't make sense. Which sucks because then these next 3 supposedly Tom Holland films, like, who are you going to use for villains? You could have had a cool recurring thing, but then you don't want to use Michael Keaton as a recurring bit. That's like someone like Shocker or... I mean, they still have Scorpion they could maybe use.
Say Scorpion too.
I mean, and then there's the Craven movie coming out.
But that's a Sony movie.
That's a Sony movie. So he's going to play with Venom, Morbius,
he's going to join up and do good.
Yeah. And he's going to do some good.
Do some good.
That group is Vulture, Morbius, Venom,
and Venom's the anti-hero. He's not really a bad guy. So
who are you? Good.
But the symbiote knows who Spider-Man is.
It's not Sinister Six. It's going to be like the Happy Six,
which then ties into
the villain, and the Sinister Six are the good guys.
That's how that should work. That's how like Suicide Squad should have been. Is like, hey, we're Suicide Squad and we're doing our thing. Oh wait, randomly the Joker is gonna show up somewhere and cause havoc, or it's Batman is coming in and like disrupting the plans for them to try to do stuff like that. Was it Assault on Arkham it was the animated movie. That's how that movie played out. It was the Suicide Squad, and then Batman would show up a couple times, and it was really good. It was done really, really well.
It was pretty good.
So yeah, this movie, in and of itself, like Anthony said to me, is really just kind of average. But then when you try to tie it into this Sony Spider-Verse that they're trying to do,
it makes it even worse.
It's a hot mess.
Yeah. A big
should have been
entangled web
thing.
It really just left a bad taste in my mouth because of that. That's the only thing people end up talking about. It's like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Should have been its own thing. Probably wouldn't have gotten that much hate.
Maybe we'll see Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield's going to be in that universe, and he's going to have to fight the Happy Six.
The do-gooder six. The do-gooder six.
Andrew Garfield needs more villains, so why not give him some?
Exactly. He's like, I fought that again. They'll bring back Paul Giamatti, and he'll be a guy in a rhino suit.
No. Hopefully a better rhino
You're
suit.
right.
He's a metal rhino suit, guys, and his weirded best friend version of Harry Osborn. Dane DeHaan needs to do more stuff. Why not? All right. Well,
anyways.
Going from not something that doesn't have a plan to something that definitely has a plan is Moonknight.
What a great first episode.
Dude, that pilot... Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I already have that Engelbert Humperdinck song as my alarm clock.
Oh my god.
That's my new alarm. Every time I wake up, it's to that song because it just fit perfectly. And I don't know how they do that, but Marvel shows and movies just have a way to give you a good hook of a song. And I don't know who comes up with the hey, here's random song that'll just fit in. Like even Homecoming, they had I think it was Can You Hear Me Knocking by the Rolling Stones. That fit perfectly. Like, oh, cool, we'll start this, and then it jumped in a couple years later. They do it really well, and Moon Knight's no different. Moon Knight was freaking great.
They also have the money to get the rights to the songs.
Also true. Thank you, Disney, for that because we
That
needed
money.
that Mickey money. No Disney some Disney dollars up in here. But yeah, again, from a couple episodes, I think it was last week's episode, I kind of harped all over like, man, Moon Knight's gonna be great, it's gonna be awesome. But now that the first episode's out, Danny already said it. What a pilot! I mean, I'd love to hear more of your takes on this stuff, on what you guys thought.
Talking to me? Oh, okay.
Do it.
Sure, get it, Zach.
Okay, so my memory now
Trash.
is a little vague.
The hot take.
Dune.
Dude.
Dune Knight.
Yeah, so with my first impressions, I think it was really cool the way that they kind of hid what he would transform into by just having the character like black out, and then the scene kind of blacks out and then comes back in. It's like something's changed. It's like he's like freaking out, like, oh, what happened? Where did this gun come from?
That was my favorite part.
Yeah, his Oscar Isaac's acting is actually really funny and good.
Because that's my boy. Oscar Isaac is my boy. I love it. And
And
I love
then,
that he has this vehicle, just to, no pun intended, because of the first episode. But I love that he has something to go, like a platform that he can just really go nuts with. So good.
And then I like that, kind of like how you said they were kind of not showing what would happen until like the end.
until afterwards. Yeah.
I like how you don't hear like Oscar Isaac's like main voice, like actual voice
Mhm.
until the end.
Yeah.
When he's talking to Mark, for the first
In the
time,
mirror.
you're like, oh damn,
Mark Spector in the
it's
mirror.
gonna
Yeah.
get real.
And even so, like, it's coming up earlier, and he's in his apartment, and he sees all like the hidden
You could
stuff.
hear it kind of.
You just hear him like, "Don't do it, Steven. Just don't do it." And Steven Grant, poor guy, is just having a time. Definitely having a time.
lost his contact and all.
Yeah, I lost my contact. That whole bit legitimately freaked my sister out. She's like, "What is going on? I'm scared." And like going in, seeing that the way they brought out CG Khonshu is awesome, because in ancient
Came out great.
in ancient Egyptian mythology, Khonshu is supposed to have, I think, the head of either an eagle or hawk, and it's a bird head. So they done in the comics is made it more like this really like elongated, creepy, almost like bird skull, and so they
Like
made
one
that
of those
pretty cool.
plague masks.
Mhm.
Pretty much, yeah. Like it's reminiscent of like a crow plague mask, and and it tells you in the credits that that's the voice of F. Murray Abraham, which it was cool because it sounded like you normally hear this gravitas, but it was more like sounded like he was just hella annoyed, which was really funny.
This guy again.
He's like, again?
Yeah, like what? The
You got
idiot's
the
in
dumb
control.
one.
Yeah, it's like, no, the idiots, run, you idiot, run. Oh man, and it's cool because then you start seeing a bit of his psyche start to break, where like, oh sure, like you have I mean, we'll get to him in a second, but like Ethan Hawke's character shows up, and Arthur, like he's like on the bus, and he's like, is that really him? But then him riding the bus is, holy crap, that giant creepy, we don't
It's
even know what the
following
hell
him.
that is. Like,
Yeah, he's
skull
freaking out 'cause it's
person with
following
a
him.
crazy moon staff is still following me too. Like, what's going on here? And it's like, was that really a dream? Because he wakes up thinking, oh, that wild stuff was just a dream. But there's all these subtle hints of, like, I think, again, this is like where it becomes like speculation, but him trying to go to sleep or stay awake with the Rubik's Cube and read and do stuff with puzzles. I don't think that's Steven. That might actually be Mark.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but like it just seemed he was way too focused on just like trying to stay awake
awake.
when someone's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I want to sleep." But maybe Mark's awake trying to keep up to date on some other stuff, which
I'm sure we'll get more of that as we go on tonight.
yeah, it's just
Um,
so much more.
it's interesting how, I mean, it's not really an origin story, but we're seeing it with Steven as the origin story almost.
yeah,
like,
like Steven
Because he
figuring it
doesn't
out
know.
with him.
He's confused as to what's going
Yeah,
on.
he's a personality that's locked away, and he has his own little mini life on purpose, almost as like a foolproof alibi for Mark Spector, which we don't know if we just know he's some type of badass, and then
Yep.
he's gifted with supernatural power. But I think
Just the way it started was great, where it looks like they just drink some water, they break the glass, crunch up the glass, put it in a napkin, and then they pour the shards of glass in some sandals.
That was Ethan Hawke's
Yeah, and then
character.
and then
That's
you
Arthur
see
Harrow,
that
yeah.
Ethan Hawke puts
Yeah.
his feet in the shoes or the sandals,
very
and he,
carefully, like
yeah, and then he walks on the shards of glass. Yeah, great way to show the character.
I'm interested in Ethan Hawke's character.
Think about it.
Just to see what.
Yeah, exactly. You're 100% right. I'm glad that gives the hook, because and he walks with his cane, with the judgment of
the
the
balance.
god of the god of the Amit is not the underworld, but she's basically the
Avatar.
goddess that she's the god that eats your heart if it's heavier than a feather when you are judged in the afterlife. So what's really cool is the cane is 2 crocodile heads, just like the goddess herself, if you can take a look at it. And obviously his tattoo of the scale, it's the same thing, and they move. But he walks, and because he walks on glass, obviously it's painful. So every step and every move he does is calculated. It's purposeful. So that gives you an idea of who he is as a person. And I think that's very smart. I think it has some stuff to do with the comics, where Arthur Harrow is just like a one-off villain, where I think he had some stuff about trying to eliminate pain or something. So now they made it so like, oh, I'm the avatar of Amit, and I'm gonna make
The blue people, right?
no the anime.
So we
The
got
anime.
we got both avatars canon in the MCU now.
Yeah,
Suck it, Paramount. Yeah, because Disney owns Fox, so they own James Cameron's Avatar,
but not Nickelodeon.
not the
Nickelodeon
Nickelodeon one.
But that was a nice little reference.
That was really cool. It was like, oh, the anime. Like, there were like small little things, like fun details, like the gold, the goldfish seller is like, oh, that Nemo movie got everybody wanting a one-finned fish. You know a shop that sells disabled fish? Go find that one too.
And then we got some sad moments too with him at the steak restaurant.
Yeah, I'll have the best bits.
Too
Oh,
late.
that
Too
hurt.
late for the date.
Poor guy.
Too late. Now it's the second guy in the MCU that was late for a date.
Oh yeah.
Yep. He can now hang out with. You ever meet Steve Rogers? He's like, I was also late for a date once. Or this guy Steven was late for a date once. Sure. And then it was just visible confusion continues. But there were also little things. We mentioned a Hot Fuzz reference. I love the fact that he's kind of venting to a human statue.
Yeah.
That was like, that caught me immediately. I was like, dude, it's just like Hot Fuzz.
While
Yeah.
they were playing Big Pimpin'.
That Big Pimpin' remix. That's a fun fact. That's Anthony's ringtone for some calls. It's just a weird MIDI file of Big Pimpin', because he believes in real ultimate power, which apparently,
.com.
yeah, which apparently that's what Moonknight has, and also Arthur has some other stuff too, because that whole fight in the chase fight in the museum was something. Like, I thought that was really well done. I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought it was really cool.
And the effects look really cool too, with the that demon, or not demon, but like that dog.
Yeah, it
kind
was
of
a
creature.
like a jackal. There
Yeah.
were jackals in Egypt, so like it's this
Oh, yeah, Jackal, yeah.
this kind of like just human jackal demon thing chasing him the whole time. He's like, if you don't want to be mauled, just give me the scarab. Which again, that's like our interesting MacGuffin.
Yeah.
So he goes into the Swiss town, dude. How disorienting even is not obviously for the character, but how is it for us that he wakes up and
A broken jaw.
like a dislocated jaw, just like what the hell? And then like I love how he turns hi, and the one guy's like, oh hey buddy, like just surprised. Oh look, he's alive. And the other dude shows up, dude, what are you doing? And just like they're in German, like telling him what's up, and then just what are you doing? And just they start shooting at him, and I love that he's in the town. How we see some of the again just short but effective a quick explanation of just who Arthur Harrow is, somebody who has a type of cult following. One guy gets judged to be good, nice old lady gets judged to be bad. She's like, but I've been good. It's like, yeah, but it'll be something maybe you're going to do. So it's like,
Yeah, in the
almost,
future, like
yeah,
what?
like
Minority Report.
get hit with the Minority Report. Exactly.
Well, how much longer does she have?
She's just like, well, you might as well just
40 more years.
Yeah, she was like, maybe it was gonna be alive for another 10 more, and then what awful atrocity would she commit? Or does she, like, oh, I didn't give $1 to UNICEF, and then that's the judgment. You know what I mean? Like, what's the bar for Amit? Obviously, he when he's talking to Stephen in the museum, he's like, oh, all the Pol Pots and the Hitlers and all the terrible things could have been stopped. It's like, okay, cool. That's one extreme. Where's the bar start?
Yeah.
He's pretty mum on that, as you saw. Everybody's just rolling out like, yeah, we praise Amit and praise Arthur Harrow. So
We'll wait for him to kill a couple more people, and we'll find out a little bit better.
maybe to see how mundane it gets. But
So are we staying up till 3 in the morning?
No.
Big
No?
Apple,
To watch
3 a.m.
episode 2?
I'll watch it in the morning.
I'll watch it in the
Like
morning too.
11:30 for me.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it ahead of time, and then I'll watch it again at night because I'm a dork like that. I loved the final speech
Yep.
that Mark has with Steven. Like, dude, you gotta let me in. Like, you gotta let me in. Don't ask
I'm
questions.
gonna save us.
Yeah, and then we just get the whole the how the tables have turned, or how the turntables.
Yeah, you see the creature like
the jackals
running
immediately
for
like,
its
oh
life,
no,
like,
what is
get me
this?
out of here.
And then just no, you going nowhere.
Had him for 3 minutes.
That wasn't 3 minutes. That was
It's
like
like 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
3 seconds of getting decked in the face, and then we get that great shot,
Reveal of the mask and his
the whole
costume.
suit, and even the ending, which hopefully the end credits, which is very similar to what we got for Hawkeye, and a little. I mean, because WandaVision was separate. It was cool. We got all the cool stuff in the beginning, but
They got some great credit, like artwork type imagery.
oh yeah, the way they show off Oscar Isaac through like the different chunks of his face is like,
Yeah.
one, it's the phases of the moon, and two, the fact that he has different personalities built in, just being segregated in his brain is just awesome. You see like the temple of Khonshu, and you see the actual like Egyptian representation of what the god is in the statues too.
Yeah.
Which I think hopefully we get more of the CG Khonshu around there at the same time, and we're getting just revealing more and more, and then the music. We're nerds about the music. Like the music at the end of like the whole credit sequence is like hella epic, right?
Very
don't know.
intense.
Yeah, it's
I don't
really
remember
intense.
it.
But it has
I gotta
that-
watch
listen
it
to
again.
It has that theme of like Egyptian and like
But still, like it's like it's heroic, but
superhero with
supernatural.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a cool mix of like this is something cool, but also a bit more mystical. So it's not as like trippy as Doctor Strange, but it's like almost Old Testament biblical style. Just like, hey,
Yeah.
we're dealing with hella established wild myth and stuff. And then we talk about all the stuff going on in the town. But his whole like not giving away the scarab thing, how he's subconsciously like that whole bit of character of like body acting was really fun.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about the flashing in and out between Steven and obviously Mark putting in the work.
Yeah.
It's great because that's that's Marvel's way of showing off a bit of the brutality of what this character is gonna do, but it showed without going really in depth. You're like, oh man, he murked these people dead.
When you first see him wake up and having just blood all over his hands,
You see the bodies around him.
and the bodies on the floor, you're like, oh, this is
Like,
how this
oh,
show's
It's
gonna
like
be.
this.
And then you see the rest of the town just like like
What?
you see like Arthur's still looking like what the hell is up with this guy? And even that's why like they tries to do his judgment power on him, and at the end it's like no, there's chaos in you. I don't know, like what is this? Like it's like the perfect counter. Like who am I judging in there? Steven?
Chaos.
Yeah,
And
he's here
then-
to kill chaos.
I think when he's driving, there's one where he blacks out and
It
I'm assuming
happens
he gets the
twice,
gun.
I
He
think.
starts shooting
while he's
people
driving.
and, like, yeah, while he's driving.
Yeah, and the both people show up, and he
Yeah.
had the gun. I love it. He throws away
He
the gun.
throws the gun.
Khonshu's like, he threw the gun. Who is this guy? And then he blacks out again. Now he's like, he's going backwards. It's like, what is going on? It was great.
And he's like, truck, look at the truck.
Truck. Like it's,
That was the one scene that I thought the effects were kind of.
oh, when
Oh,
the guy
like the
jumped.
logs.
The
Well,
logs.
with him moving around the truck with the logs, and then the logs themselves.
Yeah,
were kind
the-
of.
The one that was noticeable for me, if we're gonna knock it, is when the guy jumped from the car into the back of the cupcake truck.
Mhm.
That looks a little very green screen. Like I'm just on a green screen thing and I'm jumping. But man, I'm hella hyped. I
Yeah.
want to see more what the
It's
hell's
very
going
cool.
on. It's-
How many
This-
episodes?
Six.
Six
Boo.
total? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't-
Overall, this one, a
Good
great
acting.
first episode.
Mhm.
Just very excited to see what's next.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah. Super exciting. Super
And some
exciting.
like teaser spots show some cool, interesting bits.
Oh yeah. Like
So-
the whole bit of Mr. Knight is gonna be really cool to see. Like I want to know
That, yeah, I want to
the,
know more about that. I want to see
you'll
the
see.
scene where he does the little Disney Plus.
the Disney
uh,
jump.
the
I'm
Disney
pretty sure
Plus
we
jump.
get that now because that's at night. He's
Yeah.
jumping around the
It
city.
might be right after this.
And every episode I think gets longer.
Ooh.
If I'm not mistaken. Every episode is, at least from the first 4 that everybody got from the screeners, is like every episode was longer than the first. So we in there, guys. Let's
and
have
we
some
know
fun.
probably
Or is that-
4 is gonna be where it starts to get crazy.
But that just means they're gonna add more to the credits because some of these shows have really long credits.
I don't think so. Like Hawkeye I loved Hawkeye's end credit scene because the David Aja artwork, but I don't think
But
you
no,
had a
there-
lot of this.
There are those credits that are still part of the show, and then there's
Oh,
on the black
all
screen,
the dubbing black
and then
screen
it,
credits.
and it's like
of the
another
different
12
languages.
minutes of credits. It's crazy.
Yeah.
In every language.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
here's the
every
Turkish one.
country.
Here's the Armenian one.
And they
here's
add
the Mongolian
that.
one.
They add that to the time of the show, so you think you're watching a 45-minute episode, but
it's
you're really
actually
watching
38.
yeah 32 probably.
Maybe, but no, it's confirmed. They'll be longer. Like each one is longer.
Nice.
So we're excited about that. That's for sure. We got that holding us over until Doctor Strange, which as of this recording is going to be in about a month.
Yep.
I
They
think to
released
the date.
the runtime for it,
Shorter than I thought.
Yeah.
Right?
but you know,
What's that runtime again?
2 hours and like
6 minutes, I
6
think.
minutes.
Mhm.
2 hours and 6 minutes. We were speculating 2.5. Like,
Yeah.
but
You know, if they
Yeah.
figured out a way to cut out stuff that wasn't needed, make it more concise and straight to the point,
I believe in
good
Sam Raimi.
action,
I believe in the Lamia.
it could be great. Why not?
Yeah. No, I mean,
It doesn't.
The hype's there.
A great movie doesn't mean it's 2 hours and a half or longer.
Yeah, the hype is there. Which also, before we wrap this episode up, there's also hype for for Thor: Love and Thunder because the
Yep.
press tour is starting up as of this recording
without a trailer.
without a trailer. Go nuts!
Still.
Time might be next week. That's my opinion. on it.
Prediction.
What if they put it in front of Sonic? That'd be hella smart.
Why not?
But why?
That
But
would be
why
weird.
not? Because
A lot of people are gonna go watch Sonic for sure.
yeah.
A lot.
I
Oh,
think so.
What's the next?
Well-
what's the next Disney movie coming
In-
out
Mm.
other than Doctor Strange?
Lightyear.
That's past Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah, it's past. Beforehand, I don't think anything else.
Well, I was gonna say in front of Fantastic Beasts, but probably not.
WB. I mean, to just cut the win from WB sales again,
Maybe.
maybe.
Like, I think they'll probably release it like in the middle of the week or like a Monday, Tuesday when they
Mhm.
release trailers.
Yeah.
But maybe either next week or if not,
God,
maybe the
who
week
knows?
after.
Yeah, I feel like,
Like, it's getting close.
Only
before
fight
Yeah,
next
it's pretty,
Friday. I
pretty
think.
weird that they haven't shown anything.
Yeah. I think even Taika's like, we're still doing stuff on it. I'm like, I guess like
Yeah, but you can still make a trailer.
who
Or
like,
just
you
like a little-
could
little 30-second teaser.
don't even show me gore. Like
I mean,
don't even
he's not even the one working on a trailer.
I don't
they
even
ship
need
that
to
out to other
see
people.
Christian Bale's the villain or Russell Crowe's Zeus. Like we don't need any of that. Which hey, we talked about there has to be a whole like pantheon of gods because of Moon Knight, but who knows, guys? Hopefully, we'll get to come back in the news of the trailer dropped, and we're just gonna talk about that trailer for 18 hours. No, I'm kidding, but maybe not. So with that, we'll see that hopefully in the coming weeks. We for sure are going to be watching Sonic this weekend. So next week you're gonna get our impressions. As at least I can speak for two of us in here who grew up playing, especially Sonic 1, 2, Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic Adventure,
Chaotix,
Adventure 2, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Yeah, I played that one. That was fun. Sonic Pinball. I like Sonic.
I remember the pinball.
Oh, the pinball one.
Yeah, that was fun.
3D Blast.
Oh yeah, 3D Blast. 3D Blast was really good. And then some of the more recent ones were games. Were games, but hey, it shows that if you can do it right, you celebrate the IP. A little bit of jokey, a little bit of good. Put some detail and quality, maybe a little bit of online bullying to an animation studio. You get something good. So we'll see you there, guys. With that, we're gonna close it out for this session. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in, watching, listening, medium of choice. We are starting to play with video. If you haven't noticed it beforehand, please follow us on Instagram, Popcorn Watchlist. We also have our YouTube channel. Just search Popcorn Watchlist, hit a like and subscribe, and follow us again for next week's episode. Thank you so very much. You all have a great rest of your week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Until next time.